Hey guys, DC Network here, coming at you with another video. It's been almost 3 years since the Ben 10 reboot ended on Cartoon Network, and fans of Ben 10 around the world have been anxiously waiting for the announcement of the 6th series, which was supposed to come 2+ years ago, but for some reason just never happened. And obviously, we're in March of 2024, there is still no confirmation that a new Ben 10 is being worked on. Duncan Rolu spoke recently on Twitter 2 months ago about the next iteration of Ben 10 and really didn't have much to say about it. So that begs the question, what exactly is going on with Ben 10, and is anything being worked on right now? Well, I've been thinking about that topic lately, and I think I finally know what exactly happened / is happening with the 6th iteration of Ben 10. So hear me out for this one. Back when the Ben 10 reboot ended in April of 2021, Duncan Rolu was speaking on Twitter about the next iteration of Ben 10, saying that they're working on some ideas with Cartoon Network, and it kind of gave the little bit of a hint that Man of Action and Cartoon Network might have been having some disagreements at the time on where to take Ben next and what the next iteration would exactly look like. And this isn't anything new, right? You know, creators and networks often have disputes over where to take a franchise next. Hey, this even happened with Ben 10 in its history with Alien Force. Ben 10 Alien Force was something that Cartoon Network wanted to do. Man of Action had a completely different idea for a Ben 10 sequel series, and obviously Cartoon Network is the one who has the final say. They're the ones who won that argument, and I think something very similar has happened here with the 6th iteration of Ben 10. So as I said before, we were supposed to get the announcement of the 6th iteration by December of 2021, by the end of the year in 2021, and that all came from Duncan Rolu, who said that an announcement should be made before the end of the year. Obviously, that never happened. So what I think has occurred here is Cartoon Network essentially was having a dispute with Man of Action. I think Man of Action had one idea for the next iteration of Ben 10, and Cartoon Network had another idea for the next iteration of Ben 10. Cartoon Network probably wanted to develop their idea, and Man of Action was trying to convince them to develop Man of Action's idea. I think what happened is that somewhere down the line, maybe Man of Action got far enough to, hey, we're going to pitch you this idea, we'll make a pilot for the episode, something along those lines, and they thought the show was going to get picked up. Heck, maybe it even did get picked up. What I think happened, though, is Warner Brothers Discovery in general has been having a bit of a tumultuous time over the past few years. Obviously, this merger hasn't exactly been the most positive thing in the world for them, and they've been having a lot of troubles. A lot of series have been getting canceled. So I think the 6th iteration of Ben 10 that Duncan Rolu was talking about back in 2021, the one that Man of Action was working on, I think that series has been canceled. I think that version of the 6th iteration has been canceled by Cartoon Network. Now, that's not to say that we're not getting a 6th series in the world of Ben 10, because I still think we are. I just think it's not the one that Duncan Rolu was referring to back in 2021. So what's happened since then? What's happened since that announcement was supposed to be made? Duncan came out in 2022 and said that he misspoke and that there is no announcement pending for the next iteration of Ben 10, which obviously I don't think he misspoke there. I think plans changed. I think what they were planning to do probably got scrapped, and so obviously, if the plans for the 6th iteration got scrapped, then there's nothing to announce. I think what's happening now is, if you guys recall last year, Sean DeMarco, who is the head of anime and action at Cartoon Network, or rather Warner Brothers Discovery, I should say, which, by the way, that is a relatively new department. That department did not exist back in 2021. So I think what's happening is, essentially, Cartoon Network, like I said before, decided to scrap the plans for Man of Action's 6th iteration of Ben 10. Then this new action and anime department was founded at Warner Brothers Discovery, and I think what's happening is Cartoon Network or someone over at Warner Brothers Discovery essentially approached the action anime department and said, hey, we want to make a new iteration of Ben 10, go wild with it, tell us your ideas. And I think that department is currently working on the next iteration of Ben 10, and they're currently pitching their ideas to Cartoon Network. So to get a better sense of where exactly they are in the process, it was last year, I believe at the midpoint of last year, maybe around late spring, early summer, that was when Jason DeMarco said that they were developing multiple ideas for the 6th iteration of Ben 10, and And he had stated that he doesn't know if any are going to get picked up. He doesn't know if multiple are going to get picked up. He doesn't know what's happening with it. They're just at the early stages of development. So if I had to bet, if I had to take a little guess on what is happening right now, I think last year, like I said, they were developing ideas for the 6th iteration of Ben 10. Those ideas at this point most likely would have been pitched to Cartoon Network, and Cartoon Network most likely would have decided by now, unless if something went horribly wrong, they most likely have decided by now what direction they want to take Ben 10 in. So I think that whatever show Jason DeMarco and his department decided to pitch to Cartoon Network, the multiple ideas that they had, whichever one Cartoon Network decided to go with is what's being worked on right now. And that is why we haven't heard about Ben 10 for the past almost 3 years, because essentially they had one vision they were going with, one direction they were going with the next iteration of Ben 10. Things were changing at Warner Brothers. Warner Media at the time was transitioning into Warner Brothers Discovery. Things were getting canceled left and right, and one of the casualties that was canceled as a part of this merger was the 6th iteration of Ben 10, but obviously Ben 10 is such a huge property, they're not going to not make another Ben 10, so now they're having somebody else, Jason DeMarco and his action and anime department, work on the next iteration of Ben 10 and take it down their own vision and their own ideas. And that's the series that's being worked on right now, most likely timeline wise as to when we could hear about it. I would hope we hear about it this year, I really would, but I've said this in past videos before, I think that the show will be out next year for the 20-year anniversary of Ben 10. I think that's when the show will release. Whether we get an announcement this year in 2024 talking about it, I don't know. I hope so, but at the very latest, I think we're going to see the 6th iteration of Ben 10 on Adult Swim, not Cartoon Network, on Adult Swim next year in 2025, and it will probably have like Unicorn Wars Eternal, like My Adventures with Superman. It'll probably premiere, late at night, and then it will have next day on Max the episodes to stream if you miss the airings on Adult Swim. So that's what I think is happening with Cartoon Network right now with Ben 10, and let me know in the comments section below what you guys think about all of this. Do you guys think I'm spot on and this has to be what's happening with Ben 10, because it's the only logical explanation at this point? If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more content like this from DC Network. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.